All right, hello and welcome. How is everyone doing on what I hope is a fantastic Tuesday, April the 13th? I am so glad that you are here as we are going to start watching part 2 of SeaQuest Season 2, Episode 1 called Daggers. And it's an episode. So, John, spoil this just a little bit for me. Is this kind of what we can expect for the rest of this season, like this, where they're going with this episode?
Yeah, there's a lot of that this season, yes.
Oh gosh. And thank you 14 for following. I think that's the animation I have for Twitch, so thank you so much for joining me over there, 14 or 414 Ian, excuse me. I think I'm saying that right now. 414 Ian, yes, welcome. And Deserted Forces lost. Thanks for joining us. How cool that we got some Twitch people joining us. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna get a spam of Streamlabs stuff. So I have no idea if this is actually happening right now or what. How interesting. Thank you to everyone. Like I'm just getting spammed in the chat right now with notifications. So either someone just rated my channel, which if that's true, thank you so much for that. Maybe there's a lot of SeaQuest fans out there, which there should be. This is an amazing series. Or who knows what's going on. But my goodness. Thank you, Appliance. Let's see if I can read these all real quick, because it is just coming through here like nonstop now. Digimap SOS, Dean Pan Porter Bog, Princeton's Sucks Steven her. Okay. Enter Steven Tush Louis Petty Balance 193 Fan. I can't pronounce the rest of that. This appears to be all constants, so I don't know how that would work out. Basin OE, how you doing? Knowledge BDT Teeth Oni Bird Hidden Quickle. What on earth? I feel like I'm so old right now. I don't get any of these names. Wow. Do I really have that many people watching over on Twitch? I have my doubts right now. I kind of feel like I'm getting this happened to Anti-Tricker the other day, where all of a sudden he just got slammed with notifications from Streamlabs. So I'm heading over there real quick, because I'm actually really bad about using Twitch. I don't understand how well it works currently. So like I do stuff, I'm like, I think I'm doing it right, but I have zero idea. But while I'm trying to figure that out, I am going to put into the chat the link to the streaming if you want to watch it over on our cytu.be, sci2.be. John, if you could, why don't you explain for anyone who wants to watch this with us how that works?
If you go over to the this link that Matthew put in the chat, you can watch the episode that we're watching while the stream is live. It only works during that time. If you want to watch it some other time, you'd have to watch it. Well, you can't watch it on Peacock anymore. But if you had your own copy, you could watch it. Or if you don't have your own copy, you have the screenshots going on in the YouTube stream.
Oh, wow. And my goodness, apparently I have 1.8 thousand followers on Twitch, is what 414 is saying. Wow. I'm not sure when that happened or why. Oh, and he's saying that apparently you can gift subs, and apparently someone gifted a heck of a lot of subs. So tell you what, guys, I usually like leaving the notifications up. I am going to have to turn off the alert box, because we don't want to be going through 1.8 thousand subs for this. But wow, thank you to everyone who apparently is now following me. That's the thing. And did I transition off the wrong thing? I transitioned off the wrong thing like a goober. Sorry about that. turn that off so we're not getting spammed by notifications.
We all know you just paid for these yourself, Matthew.
Yeah, my master plan. I'm like, how can I really boost up my doings on Twitch, because I'm just so active over here. I know I will gift myself 1,000 subs. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and now I don't know. Maybe that wasn't my best choice ever, but wow, whoever did that, thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you. I was not expecting it, and that's just so extremely cool. Thank you so much for that. And I wish I understood how to use it so I could actually see I don't even know how to see my own subs apparently. I guess if I look at my channel, I'd be able to see, but that seems like, I don't know, that seems like work, and that's not really something I like doing too much. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So the way this works for anyone who is stumbling over onto my channel from Twitch because you suddenly discover that you were subscribed to me out of nowhere, this is the way it works. We have the screening room, which I have provided a link to, and I will provide a link again here real quick so that you can see this in the midst of all the different notifications coming in right now. But the way this works, go to that link, and I will, during the time of this stream only, have the video playing. And if you don't want to do that, maybe you're on a cell phone, so you could only watch me or watch the stream, or watch the video, then we'll provide some clips of the episode just down below in this general area so that you can see it as we talk about it. And while we talk about it, then John and I will be providing some live discussions and kind of giving you a gist of what they're saying. Because you know what, SeaQuest is really great. If you missed this out, this was a show that appeared or aired back in 1993 to 1995. The first season was fantastic. It had a couple lackluster episodes, but even those weren't horrible. And I haven't seen beyond this episode. At this exact episode, it's the last plot point that I remember ever happening in all of SeaQuest. We finally caught up with my memory from, what did we decide, 30 years ago at this point? Because we old.
Almost, yeah.
We old. Oh, gosh. So let's go ahead and get into this. And I guess first let me say hello to everyone in the chat. I got extremely distracted. It seems like it's pretty common for me. Either I have an audio issue, in which case I spend 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out why I'm such a bad streamer, or something like this happens and I get totally distracted by it because I'm such a bad streamer. But let me say hi to everyone in the chat. There's this John DiMarco guy. I don't know what his story is. I think he's a pretty cool guy. He seems to like Darwin the dolphin, but I don't know. I'll try not to hold that against him.
If he likes Darwin, he sounds like a good guy.
Yeah, that must be. He's such a classic character. 47 Yorktown, how are you doing? Spamming me with Darwin the dolphin emojis. Thomas Potts, he's saying, so is this part 1 according to the description or part 2 according to the title of the stream? Oh, that's what you were talking about. I was so confused. I saw you say that over in Discord because apparently I got another article of impeachment for that mistake. And I looked at it, I'm like, well, I say part 2, so what's the confusion? And, if I had basic reading comprehension, I would have understood. What's that?
I was agreeing that, yes, you indeed got another article of impeachment.
Okay, yeah. So I have fixed that just now, so people in the future will be like, well, no, it does say part 2. And that is only because Thomas Potts is frankly amazing. He hangs out on my Discord a lot, and he has found so many mistakes that I've made in setting up Discord and catching stuff like this. He is on point for this type of stuff, and I would definitely have a less good stream and server if he weren't around.
That is true.
47 Yorktown, is that me? He spammed the chat with it kind of looks like me. Has the hair and the beard. And if I stroke the beard thusly, how's the rest of the Poco? Do I not look more contemplative?
More intellectual.
More intellectual, yes. Let's see, Professor Brainy Specs, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling a little bit better today. I know you were a little bit under the weather first thing this morning, but I am glad that you are here and hopefully that you are feeling a little bit better. Maybe a little bit sleepy though. And yes, this is the virtual snub SeaQuest edition, but I do tend to do a little bit better in reading the chats on this one. And I was a little bit late. Sorry for that. I'm actually, my wife is at a church event for the ladies. And so like a super dad, I got the kids, from some 6 o'clock on, got them in pajamas, got them teeth brushed, got them read, got them into bed. But I'm just a dad, so I didn't do it quickly. Mom could have done this all with one hand tied behind her back and gotten them on bed on time. I'm just proud that I got them to bed at all. So I was a few minutes late. Bradley Briggs, so glad you're here. Robert Rose Jr., how are you doing tonight? Mr. Mind Bullets, yes, we were talking about our superpowers. If we could have any ability, what would it be? And I 100% picked Mind Bullets, the ability to give people aneurysms, which I still think would be an amazing superpower. And John, what was yours from last night?
Well, I wanted the ability to be able to heal anybody if whatever was ailing them.
Yeah, so we're kind of like a yin and yang kind of pairing there. I can kill people with my mind, and you can save them. I think it's a good combo.
By the way, Thomas demands that you make your hair like a Centauri.
Yeah, he does want me to do that, but I've gotten so used to the shorter haircut. In fact, it's getting a little long for my taste now. And the Centauri guy, he has hair like this big. I mean, it would require some massively long hair for me to naturally pull that off. If I wanted to fake it, I could probably fake it with a wig, but to naturally pull it off, I don't see that happening. Bradley Briggs wondering, with all the biking I'm doing, is it causing me to lose weight? Yes, it is. Thank you. So starting around January 13th-ish, beginning of January, mid-January, I started to basically eat right again. Cut out the junk foods at night, cut out the sugar, stuff like that. And I am like 1.5 pounds away from losing 30 pounds so far. And I have another 10 pounds to get down to, hopefully, before my major bike ride at the end of August. But yes, thank you. And let's see, what the heck is saying Professor Brady Specs? Yeah, and someone could have bought you subs. That's what's going on there. And we're going to have to go through some notifications. That's okay. And we're more or less caught up. Multi Gunman, how are you doing? Am I too late to have Life with Matthew ignore the stuff out of me? No, I definitely will not ignore you. I never ignore anyone. See, that's the thing. I never ignore anyone, but I am reliably bad about paying attention to everyone. And I think there's a subtle difference there, but it's an important difference, The heart motivation isn't to ignore you. I'm just not very good. So with that, let me one more time put the link to sci2.be. Anyone who wants to, come join us over and watch the video live. This will be taken down after this stream, unfortunately. If you want to watch this sometime in the future, you got to get your own copy. It used to be up on Peacock TV, but I believe they took it down like half a month ago now, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a full month. And then, so I don't think it's there anymore. I'm not sure where you could stream it for free, like if you have another service, but you absolutely can buy it. John, I think you got yours off eBay for not too bad. It was just season 1 though, right?
It was season 2, but yes, Thomas found it for a pretty inexpensive price.
Yeah, so it is out there, and it is very much worth it. And Sci-Fi Nation, hey, how are you doing today? Glad that you are here. It is sad that it's down, and I'll try and remember this week to look around and find, like, does Amazon stream it? Does Peacock stream it? Does Paramount stream it? Like, who actually has the rights to it now. I guess it wouldn't be Paramount. NBC owns the rights to it, but I'll try and look around to see if there's not some free way to stream SeaQuest, because I think the best you're going to get is actually just purchasing it. Like it looks like on.
I looked around a little bit.
Oh wow! Okay, over on Amazon, SeaQuest DSV Season 2 you can purchase for $10.85 on DVD. Like I do not know why they have it on sale so much, but that is great.
That's about what I paid for it.
Okay.
I looked around and I couldn't find it streaming anywhere.
And it looks like you can get the Blu-ray version of it for $35, but I don't know what. Maybe someone in the chat can explain this to me. Why would you want to buy a Blu-ray copy of this when it's not going to be 16:9? It's not going to be digitally remastered. It's like they've just taken the DVD version of it and slapped it on a Blu-ray format just so you can have the Blu-ray. Like, is there something I'm missing there?
That I know of.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and hit the play button now. I'll give you a countdown just so that if you are watching this on your own, then you can sync up with us, and then I will start the clips as well. So here we go, everyone. SeaQuest Season 2, Episode 1, Part 2, Daggers. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And so they're going to give us a quick summary of what happened in the last episode, which we had this calisthenics Gelf people, the genetically enhanced life forms. There's, 50 of them, I think. And it's a big deal that they can't reproduce. They're not human because apparently in the far off future of 2019, we judge humanity by whether or not you can reproduce. And they give us a quick introduction to who's here in the cast, which was pretty important. I mean, between Season 1 and Season 2, John, you were talking about how they moved, right?
Yes, they moved from California to Florida, and some of the people didn't want to make the move.
Yeah, it seems like about half of the main cast didn't want to make it. Or was it half? Because you lost Krieg. You lost...
So some of them was... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of them just chose not to move, and some of them were basically let go because they wanted to freshen up the cast, so to speak.
Yeah, so we lost Krieg, we lost Crocker, we lost Hitchcock, we lost Dr. Westphalen. I think that's everyone.
I believe so, yes.
And then they brought on... let's see, this guy's name is Piccolo. He's the one with the gills. They brought on his brother, not in the show brother, but in real life brother. This guy on the screen right now, his name is Dagwood the Dagger, the prototype. They brought on the most... I'm just going to call her Commander Troy, okay? I don't know. I don't know her real name, but she is Commander... Like, even this episode, you're going to see she has such a Commander Troy moment. It is stunning. And then
Jeff is saying a SeaQuest is still on Peacock for now, apparently.
Oh, good. Okay, well then I can keep shilling out for them. Which, I mean, Peacock, anytime you want to pay me to do this, I'm going to do it anyway, so I don't know what benefit you would have, but I'd appreciate it. But yes, if you want to go to peacock.com or peacocktv.com, then you can watch this for free. And that's one of the great things. Like, there's so many streaming services now, but Peacock is actually for free. So you can watch this for free on peacocktv.com.
Also, one other new character is Lieutenant Brody, who we first saw at the prison camp. He's going to end up joining the crew as well.
Man, he's kind of annoying, to be honest. I don't know if he improves throughout the season, but by halfway through this episode, I was 100% on Ford's side. Where I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy just never shuts up.
Oh, I seem to recall he kind of grew on me as the season went on.
Oh, that's good. Because I'll grant that a lot of, in fact, most pilot / premiere episodes of a series, the actors don't know their character yet, and it takes some time to kind of organically grow into that character. Like I think B'Elanna Troy might be my favorite example of this. In the first episode, when you see her,
B'Elanna Troy?
Yeah, B'Elanna.
B'Elanna.
Yeah.
B'Elanna Troy.
Am I not saying it right? It sounds the same to me.
There's no character B'Elanna Troy in Star Trek.
In Voyager.
B'Elanna Torres?
Oh my goodness. You said that like 5 times, and amazingly, I missed it every single time. That takes talent on my part, if I may be so bold. Oh gosh, B'Elanna Torres may be my favorite example of this, because in the first episode she was really annoying, and then by season, partway into season 1, she kind of started to get her footing. And then after the episode where the Vidians split her into her human and Klingon half, I think that was like maybe her peak annoyingness to me. And after that, she really grew into who her character was. And by season 3, she became a really fun character going forward. And yes, the multi-gun man. B'Elanna Troy is 100% related to Jean-Luc Kirk. Oh, and apparently they have a paid version of Peacock now. I did not know that. Oh, I guess it just takes away the ads. So if you had the free version of Peacock, then it just had some ads. But I don't remember seeing many ads when I had an ad blocker on, so take for that what you will. Okay, so talking about actually SeaQuest, because I am as distractible as a cat. What's going on right now, in the last episode, the Gelfs took over the island prison that they were on, and they have taken hostage the prison guards who are there. And one of them amazingly gave birth to a child. And here we have the Deanna Troy moment, or Deanna Torres moment, where Bridger is talking with the representative of the Gelfs, whose name is Matthew. Seems like a reasonable fellow. And she is, as they're talking, she leans in and whispers, he's not being completely honest. He's not, he doesn't really want to be doing this. And that seems to be her role. I guess they're really inspired by Deanna Torres's abilities in TNG. And yes, Thomas, Matthew Crawford.
You're just doing it on purpose now, aren't you?
Right.
Nope.
And so after they have this exchange where the Gelfs are saying they don't want to hurt anyone, and Bridger's saying, I don't want you to hurt anyone either, but I'm not in control of this. I have to report to my bosses. They tap into the secure stream going on between Bridger and the Admiral, and they find out that the Admiral is just telling him to blow the place up. So they are 100% backed into a corner right now. And Sci-Fi, I agree. B'Elanna as a full Klingon was annoying, and as a full human, she was annoying. Like, I really didn't... In that episode, they really took the idea of B'Elanna not liking her Klingon nature and just ratcheted it up to 11. And then for no reason whatsoever, they had a way to save the Vidians and just said, screw it. Which directly led to so much death for Voyager, or at least so much heartache for Voyager, as the Vidians continually attacked them. Or not continually, but like repeatedly attacked them. All because, Klingon Torres was a bit of a jerk. So Piccolo, he does have, that's such a weird name. Every time I say Piccolo, I just imagine the green alien from Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo, since he has gills, is being sent to do like an infiltration mission to the Gelf Island, because it's been revealed that they have super sophisticated sensors, such that if they have so much as a breathing apparatus on their face, they're going to be detected. So he has to go in almost his skivvies and try and figure out what's going on there.
Yes, I was thinking of the instrument as well when I heard Piccolo. I don't know if we mentioned yet, but some of the Gelfs took some speedboats. They're on the way to attack UEO headquarters.
And we're totally getting a Kyle moment here as she loads the last Kryptonian into the pod to escape the oncoming destruction. And Thomas, no, the Doctor never found a cure for the Vidians, but the Vidian Doctor, when he split B'Elanna into her Klingon and human half, found a cure. Like, he 100% found that the Klingon DNA had defeated the phage, and had he been allowed to, he would have cured all the Vidians. But B'Elanna, Klingon B'Elanna, was pissed and snapped his neck. Which, to be fair, he did murder one of the crew members of Voyager to steal his face. So he did have it coming. It's just like they could have solved everything with the Vidians right then and there. And I love this. You can see, like, right, oh, you missed it in the still, but right here, you can 100% see the string that they are pulling this escape pod along with. Yeah, right there. I love little moments like that in production. And the DeLuise guy in real life, apparently he has some nice lung capacity to be able to stay underwater for these shots.
As much as he talks, I'm not surprised.
He is a talker. He kind of reminds me of Frank Parker from 7 Days, the other show that Commander Ford plays in. It's just like a little bit younger and a little bit more annoying. And that really makes me wonder, let's see, 7 Days, Frank Parker. I wonder who the actor was. Because it would be funny if that actually was the DeLuise. No, Jonathan LaPaglia. Names are hard.
Yes, Piccolo and Dagwood, their actors, are the sons of Dom DeLuise.
Thomas is saying, why didn't the Doctor figure out how to use Klingon DNA to cure them? The Vidians were light years ahead of Voyager in terms of medical technology. I mean, double check me on this, Thomas, but I'm pretty sure it's a season. I want to say it's a season 1 episode where B'Elanna gets split into her Klingon and human halves. If you watch that episode, the Doctor, or the Vidian Doctor, does see that B'Elanna 100% defeated the phage because he infected her and she got over it, and he was going to take the antibodies she had formed to cure the Vidians. But she snapped his neck, which, again, admittedly, he had coming. He did rip the face off of one of her crew members because he was hoping she might fall in love with him. It was fairly misguided.
Barely.
And I have to wonder, okay, so the Gelfs are doing their own strike mission to capture the admiral who wants to blow up everything. And do you think these are real things? These little underwater motorboat or underwater segways they're on?
I don't know, but I love him.
I love the scene. We are going to see him swim up to this guy 4 times and rip the hose off. I guess it took a lot of effort to get this shot, and they really wanted to make sure they got their money's worth out of the shot. Sci-Fi Nation is saying that they had these in World War II, so it actually is a real submersible device. I figured it was. I hoped it was real. I was really hoping they didn't make this just for SeaQuest. Because I just imagine that if they had made this just for this one episode, those actors would have been basically risking their lives. I would not have trust what my prop team put together underwater. And yes, the Gelfs were absolutely engineered to be soldiers, but not to breed. And Robert Rose Jr. wants to know, didn't the Borg deem the Vidians not worth assimilating also? Oh gosh, I don't remember that one.
I remember they said that about the Kazon. I don't remember the Vidians. We'll see if the invasion of St. Petersburg is going smoothly.
I know, like 20 of them popped out from behind that console. That is some impressive stealth work to miss. And Truck Reviewer was talking that Roxanne Dawson, the lady who played B'Elanna Torres, was married to Casey Biggs, who played Damar in DS9. And Joe Biden, thank you so much for your donation. It says, these people deserve full freedom. They're doing nothing wrong. I fully support them. Vote for me and I will cure the phage. Hello, Michael Crawford. Why didn't you have the camera on? Hail Karoga, number 22. Thank you so much, Joe. I love having you around. So, I mean, the shooting was maybe not the greatest in the scene, but it is fairly impressive that the Gelfs were able to track down where the Admiral was and infiltrate the base with, it seems like, minimal casualties. And actually kidnap the Admiral. So we're looking at this Gelf baby. It's a weird sentence. And we find out that Mr. Piccolo here practically raised his sister's kids because she was in jail. Which, you know, he says that, but I don't necessarily trust Piccolo enough at this point to believe him. Like, everything he says, I kind of wonder if he's exaggerating, perhaps.
He does do that a lot.
Hey, Random Bot, how you doing? Saying Darwin was the best. Well, at least half the panelists up here agree with you. Sci-Fi Nation saying, hey, a guy that raises other kids. Probably why I like Piccolo so much. Which, hilariously, does fit in with the Dragon Ball Z Piccolo reference either. Or as well. And here Deanna Torres swoops in and is trying to hack better than Lucas does. Like, what is up with this lady? So she's claimed to be a better hacker than him, and also just so happens to be, or to done one of her theses on biogenetics, so she knows all about the Gelfs. And we get the plot point. This is the one plot point I remember from SeaQuest. Because the world tore down all the rainforests, we had to create rebreather facilities. The military went around and created giant air purifiers. And the giant air purifiers are the only way that we can have enough oxygen content in the world to actually be able to breathe. Robert Rose Jr. saying he did like the Voyager episode where they found the colony of X-Borg. That was an interesting one, especially since they decided they wanted to recreate the collective. Like, they were in such a bad position with the factions, they actually thought it was better to have a pseudo collective.
Why Thomas says the better half of the panel. Thank you.
I'm not going to argue that point. I think you're right.
Yes, I do remember jungles and other episodes. I guess those don't count.
It's true. I guess a jungle isn't quite a rainforest. Or they retroactively got rid of those. Like maybe last year they got rid of them. Now she just named a date of a war, the Korean War of 2010, I think she said.
Yes, I believe so.
Which, again, SeaQuest being on point, they may be, 15 years off or so, depending on how things go. But it is interesting that, Korea is such a prominent power today. Or prominent power, is that the right word? They're such a point of interest on a military aspect. And poor Lucas, even though Bridger was hounding him a scene ago to find the information he wanted, somehow Lucas got stuck with babysitting duty. And Piccolo is pointing out that babies do in fact have different cries for different problems. Like, he mentions that this cry means the diaper means changing. And Lucas is like, really? You can hear that? He goes, no, but I can smell it. And so put him on the table. And Lucas thinks that Piccolo is going to change the baby, but no. He's going to make Lucas do it. But it is interesting that in real life, babies do tend to have 5 main cries that they're just instinctively born with. And if you learn to hear them, you can actually get a really big leg up on what they're trying to say. They lose it within like 9 months or so, but at the very least, they have it.
Until Lucas puts on the oxygen mask.
And this poor lady, she's begging them not to hurt her baby, but at the same time, she's the one who threw her baby into an escape pod. Like, I kind of feel like she's lost the right to critique what happens at this point. It was complete luck that anyone found her baby at all under the ocean. But Deanna Torres over here is revealing that he is unaware that there is another Gelf faction that kidnapped the Admiral, it appears, that they aren't unified. And Professor Brain Specs is pointing out that oxygen being currency is a plot point of a Doctor Who story. Was that during the classic era? I don't remember that one in the modern era of Who. Saying Kerblam. Oh, the Amazon packaging facility one? I didn't remember that they used that, or oxygen was a factor of that one. So the Admiral, apparently during the War of Korea, and it wasn't North Korea, it was just Korea, of 2010, it was very much stated that, or at least it was speculated by the Gelfs, that he was a turncoat. that everyone else that was captured with him died, but he alone survived. And so she very much speculated that he sold off information for his life. And so he does it again. Basically, he lets them do the retinal scan, gives the access code Alpha 01 destruct, and they use the Reagan Memorial Defense Satellite to blow up the first of the air reclaimers. They find out that yes, she is going to suffocate them
one of
all
the things
because the Gelfs. We're going, John.
The thing is, the Gelfs don't require as much oxygen to live as the regular human beings. They're going to reduce the oxygen content worldwide so only they can survive.
And yes, Thomas, if there was a Korean War in 2010, it would definitely not have been Obama's fault. It would have 100% have been the previous administration's, at least according to the media and Obama. So, depending on your political leanings, you either agree or disagree with that assessment.
And this news anchor on the screen here, by the way, was actually a local news anchor from the Tampa area at the time.
Oh, that's great. I love cameos like that. And Professor Brainy Specs is saying that the episode was even titled Oxygen from Series 10 with Peter Capaldi. I should have seen that one then. Hold on. Doctor Who. Oxygen. Is that the one? Is that the series when Bill was his companion? Yeah. So I've only seen the Bill episodes once. I stopped watching it when Bill came on. I thought it was going to become way too political. And then I was very pleasantly surprised. I thought they did a very decent episode, or a very decent series with Bill as the companion. I mean, yeah, they did go a little political, kind of like the first 2 episodes with her. And I thought it was interesting the way they introduced her, or the way she introduced herself was like in priority of like, I'm this, then I'm this, then I'm this. And like the last thing she was a woman. It was like, I'm a lesbian, I'm black. Oh, and by the way, I'm a woman. And I thought it was really interesting that like they had 3 different interactions where she had to tell people she was something. I'm like, wow, that tells you a lot about your priorities if like woman is on the bottom of your minority list. But yeah, I 100% don't remember that episode. And so we do have 2 factions of Gelfs. We have the people who are peaceful, and they want to come to a peaceful resolution where they just have full citizenship, because that's really all they want. Meanwhile, you have the military side, who they're the ones who kidnap the admiral and are blowing up our reclaimer facilities. And the lady in charge of the military people has stated that she's going to blow up one of the reclaimer stations every hour until their demands are met. And we have 4 stations until humanity is going to die. And as soon as she warns them, like she blew up one, then she does her address and immediately blows up the second one. So we should be down to like 2 stations, maybe 3, depending on how you're counting, when the scene happened, before all humans suffocate. Sci-Fi Nation saying, as an independent progressive, I will just say this: current events depend on decisions made far in advance of previous administrations, no matter who is in power and how it plays out. I half agree with that. I do think there are some things that kind of steamroll like a train. You got to build up some steam. But I'll also say that from the moment a new administration takes power, at least on a financial level, the decisions they make can have an immediate and huge impact on like stock markets and stuff. that line just comes hollow from her. Like Dagwood is saying that Gelfs don't have a god; they just have a man who created them, which is nonsense because a man is still using genetic components that God put there. I mean, a man, yeah, they're a test tube baby, but it was still an egg and a sperm that combined. And yes, they did genetic modifications to them to get a specific outcome, but that doesn't mean you didn't start with nothing. Like the idea that a man created them, the idea that like they came from nothing is ridiculous. But then the doctor responds with, "Well, I'm afraid this little baby had a god because she is actually human." And it just, I don't know, maybe it's just her character rubs me the wrong way, but it kind of feels hollow coming from her.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to get a whole lot of praise coming for her out of me. Let's put it that way.
And Robert's saying that the Gelfs are sort of like the tanks from Space Above and Beyond. Space Above and Beyond. I should know that one. Above and Beyond. Is that a game or a show? No, this is a show. Huh. I'm not sure if I've actually watched that. Oh, this plot point. This plot point makes the writers over Discovery look somewhat intelligent.
Something makes them look intelligent.
Yeah, she talks about it being spontaneous evolution. That the idea that the Gelfs, one, could reproduce at all, but two, have turned into, oh gosh, she's spouting it right now. But two were able to like become human was because of spontaneous evolution. That the body is self-aware and makes changes that it needs to make on an evolution immediate scale. And it's such a dumb idea. Like even if you buy into the evolutionary model, the idea that your body intelligently moves itself toward a better condition is so stupid.
Well, even Bridger said it was nonsense.
And let's see, Thomas Potts is surprised I said sperm. Well, yeah, it's a medical term. I have no problem with talking about medical realities. Let's see, Thomas was saying, Professor Brady Specs, I'm sure. Are you sure about what? Oh, he was asking if Bill Potts was any relation, and he's sure that he's not any relation, just as he's sure that he's not related to Pepper Potts of the MCU, even though my sister married a guy named Tony. Well, that's suspicious. I don't think I'm buying that anymore. I want a suit. How much do they cost? So the admirals actually cave in. They meet the demands of the Gelfs, and the Gelfs still blow up the next station. So we are one reclaimer station, I believe, from suffocating. Oh gosh, this guy he does get annoying. I do agree with Ford. Every time a problem is coming up, he's right there ready to fix it. And apparently he knows the command access code to the sub, which he says it used to be his sub, but you would think they would have changed access codes by then. And yes, Sci-Fi, Ford does just want to blast him away, and I don't blame him. He comes off as really, at least in this episode, he comes off as really arrogant, really sure of himself, like overly sure of himself, which I guess is what arrogant is, kind of being redundant. And Sci-Fi is saying that Space Above and Beyond is awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. Like, I got a growing list of things that I need to watch, but I will try and remember Space Above and Beyond. And Trek Reviewer is saying that maybe Thomas wanted me to say semen? Ha 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 ha. Maybe so. That is an interesting sub they've come up on. It looks almost like a... Oh god, it looks almost like a... one of the alien ships from War of the Worlds. Not the Tom Cruise one, but the one... what was it? 1960, late 1960s, maybe early maybe late 1950s. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
And Sci-Fi Nation saying it's the Akula or November class? It's a real sub? Surely not.
Oh, I don't think this is a real sub.
No, that's definitely not. He must be talking about something else. The Akula is very much your classic looking sub.
Yeah.
Do it. So the Gelfs are trying to blow SeaQuest out of the water, which, like, it's almost pathetic. I mean, the pilot episode of SeaQuest showed 5 subs standing down because the SeaQuest clearly outclassed them. And Bridger he's whatever. Load the interceptor. They are shooting off basically flak missiles that are causing the torpedoes to blow up well outside any sort of damaging range, because the actual danger of a torpedo isn't necessarily the direct hit. Like, that certainly is for a surface-based vessel. But for a submarine, like the way a depth charge works, you don't necessarily have to hit it head on. Even getting remotely close to it, the shockwave is going to cause damage to the sub. But still, they're able to get the torpedoes to detonate far enough away such that it doesn't cause damage to the SeaQuest. Robert Rose Jr. is saying that tanks in Space Above and Beyond were humans grown in tanks, created as soldiers in a war between humans and artificial humans. The tanks didn't have any rights since they were disposable. That sounds like a good plot point. Josh wants to know what season of SeaQuest is the season with the aliens.
There were some aliens in the last season. We see them again later on.
So the military leader is just all gung-ho. She wants to kill off all humans. 100%. Because once all the humans are dead, then the Gelfs will repopulate the Earth, which, bad choice actually. And in nature, there is a observable thing when you have a large population group and a natural event causes you just have that small family group, and you basically create extreme inbreeding with the same genes, and it's never a good thing. It's happened a couple times, like on islands and things. You get like these weird offsuits that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So only 50 people to reproduce the planet at this point in time. Like within a couple of generations, you would have been all Hatfields and McCoys situation. But they're warning her, like, hey, you're turning into human, basically. Turning into humans. And this child needs just as much oxygen as we do. And she doesn't believe him, but Dagwood comes up and is like, no, believe me, my sister. And so she chooses to believe Dagwood. And we're finding out that the Gelfs who chose to follow after Mariah, the lady who was trying to kill everyone, they're going back to jail. They broke the laws, and they're going to have to pay for that. And Matthew here, he's going to have the same thing. They're full citizens now. they're free, but they are going to have to face any laws. So if they break laws, they're going to be judged just like everyone else. Josh Tree is saying that if you explode a torpedo under the surface ship, it will do heavy damage versus a direct hit to a ship. Okay, so it's equally dangerous for a surface ship. That is an interesting mop.
Yes, it is.
Like, I wonder if anyone actually made this mop in real life. Because it's a clear plastic tube that you fill up with a cleaning solution. And then it looks like there might be a pump of some sort, or at the very least an extra container. And it just looks like it might be wicking down into the mop area. So we have one of these mops where, you push the button and it sprays out a little bit in front of it, and then it has a couple of roly pads to like mop the floor. Because apparently we're too lazy to just push it back and forth normally. But now Dagwood is an official member of the SeaQuest. So Robert Rose Jr. is saying that he believes that R. Lee Emery was the drill instructor in Space Above and Beyond also. So I sent my wife a picture as soon as she left of R. Lee Emery. I'm pretty sure that's the guy's name. Yelling at some recruits, calling them maggots and stuff. I'm like, this is when Dad's in charge and trying to do cleaning stuff. And she thought I was serious. She's like, what happened? I thought y'all were going on a walk. I'm like, I was joking. Like, that just feels like what dad life is like sometimes. Like, you have a bunch of troops and you're trying to whip them into shape. Oh, poor Tim. Tim, that's his character's name, right? Tim Raimi?
Yeah.
He is sorting his underwear by day, and apparently Friday is a pair of red whitey tighties. They almost looked like a women's underwear, but like I thought at first it was going to turn out where everyone's laundry was mixed together, and he had found a pair of her underwear. But no, that's his Friday pair because he sorts them by date. Or not by date, but like calendar date, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. But she sorts her clothing by day as well.
It's meant to be.
She kind of, it does look like they're having this moment here, but she also kind of had a similar moment with Lucas. So they kind of have a triangle situation going through the season.
Could
they? Maybe. We'll see.
Possible.
And I wish I had card skills like he was just doing. Like he was doing the one-handed fan, doing the vertical waterfall, shuffling them back and forth. I can't even bridge cards very well. And I hope we get more of the card stuff, because I really enjoyed in TNG the poker games, just the moments where you saw them being themselves outside the bridge, outside engineering, outside the holodeck. Sci-Fi Nation saying that he can bridge cards, but screw it all if he can play bridge. Are you saying you can't bridge cards, but you can play bridge? I can't even do that. And Sci-Fi Nation is also saying that Tim Raimi was the cartoon dude in the Atlantis cartoon from way back when, like the movie Atlantis. So Lucas is wagering the top bunk because both of them are fighting over it. And Piccolo's pretty convinced that he's gonna win this. But Lucas pulls it out. Nope, he's the one who won it. So Lucas gets the top bunk moving forward. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying the cartoon. Like, was there a TV show? Or because I remember the cartoon Atlantis movie. But I don't remember a TV show cartoon of Atlantis. I think this was the moment that really made me not like this character. He ruined the ending of a book. I mean, that's an unforgivable sin.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And then he really rubs it in. Like, this is a real jerk move. Like, he knew what he was doing with the book comment. He wasn't just being like, oh, it's a bad ending. The cop did it out of accident. He 100% wanted to ruin it. Because the next thing he says is, the captain wants to hire me on because this ship is wasting a lot of time, and basically lays all the blame for the ship sinking last year at the feet of Ford, and saying if Ford had been a better commander, then the ship wouldn't have sunk, which was a 100% low blow. Ford had nothing to do with the power plant going haywire and the SeaQuest taking drastic action to prevent a huge disaster. Like, that was Bridger's call.
Yeah, it's not right to put that on Ford. He didn't have anything to do with that.
Thomas Potts is wondering, how did I suddenly hit 1,000 subs on Twitch? Someone very graciously must have subbed a bunch of subs to me, or donated a bunch of subs to me. That, or someone rated my channel. I don't think anyone rated the channel because I only have a couple people watching over on Twitch right now. So I think that someone must have done a huge sub donation, which thank you so much to whoever did that. I have zero idea who did that. I don't even know how to find out if anyone or how anyone did that. Like that's a complete mystery to me. But whoever did that, thank you so much. Or if you rated, then thank you so much as well. I really appreciate that. The question is, do I have more subs than Anti-Trekker? That's what I went over on Twitch. Thomas is saying it could have been a bot. I guess that's true. I have no idea how that works. So what did you think of this two-parter, John?
I did enjoy the two-parter with some of the issues that it dealt with, the rights of the Guelphs and the two factions, and the two different ways to deal with their problems. Yeah, a couple of the new characters I wasn't really thrilled with at this point. Some of them do tend to grow on you over the course of the season.
And I'm hoping Piccolo ends up being one of those characters that grows. I think they really tried to make him a fast-talking, know-it-all guy in this episode with limited success. Like, the actor didn't flub over his lines the way that I certainly do. But it was just, it didn't sell it for me either. So I really hope that as the writers and the actor kind of figure out who he is, that he more kind of falls into a good position for who his character should be played out as. I'm ready for Deanna Torres to be gone. Like, the sooner she's gone, the better.
Yeah, that's a character that did not grow on me.
Yeah, she is truly insufferable, and I'm kind of wondering, like, is it just that one? I'm annoyed that Westphalen isn't there because I really enjoyed Westphalen's relationship with Bridger? Or two, is it that I really, really hate the character of Deanna Troy? Nothing against Miana Sturgis. Miana, wow, I am really, really bad at names. I'm not even going to try. No offense to Miss Sturgis, but her character, Deanna Troy, I hate her so much. And the fact that this character is literally being set up to be a Deanna Torres replacement, I don't know if that's biasing me or if it's just she's really, really that bad.
I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Let's see. Trek, you're saying that we are both even at 0. Thank you, Trek. And was wondering if I knew that Rosalinda Allen, who played Dr. Smith on SeaQuest, appeared as Yanar in the Star Trek TNG 2 episode, The Outrageous Okana. I did not. Yanar. Which one was Yanar?
Oh, I think she was the Juliet type character. Romeo and Juliet scenario they had going on.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Dr. Smith on, even though you said Dr. Smith on SeaQuest, I was thinking Dr. Smith on Lost in Space. Because those two things are just so similar, aren't they?
Practically identical.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, wait, Yanar was the lady? How could Yanar be the lady when... Oh, gosh, me. I don't know why you guys put up with me and my horrible names.
Yeah.
Lewis. Delana. Oh, gosh. Delana Troy.
It's one of your best ones, I think.
It was because that one wasn't me just being stupid mad, like, oh, ha ha, here's Lewis. That was 100% me messing up, and not just once, but over and over again with that name. That's an impressive one. Oh gosh. Well, what what else did you think of the episode?
I liked that some of the new characters, like Dagwood. I think he'll be an interesting character to explore how he relates to the rest of the crew.
I will be interested to see if
Piccolo.
they keep him at that same kind of slow, dumb level, or if they start to increase his speech. Because, someone who halts in his sentences all the time, like, I don't know, someone y'all might know, it gets old after a little bit. And you're going to say something about Piccolo?
Yes, and he is kind of annoying at the beginning. He puts off this really full of self persona. But I recall over the course of the season, you start to see more of who he really is, and is more of an interesting character, if I recall correctly.
Well, I'll grant that even between part 1 and part 2, his character got better. Like, they really laid it on thick in part 1 of this episode. And part 2, he had some more redeeming qualities. I got that reference, Robert. He's saying there's Dagwood but no Blondie, and they did some upset faces. Which I don't know if you ever watched the movie of Dagwood, but the actor who did it, there was a scene where he was supposed to have a tack in his shoe, and he wanted to make it more convincing, so he literally put a tack in his shoe, and did the entire scene walking around with this just so that he could portray the pain that his character was going through more realistically. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying that Dagwood does increase slowly. It seems so real, but that is good. I look forward to seeing that. This is still better than an episode of Discovery. I do have some gripes. Well, yeah. I have some minor gripes simply because I did like season 1 so much, and you can see that they're taking a different path in season 2, and it's hard. It's basically a brand new show. When you lose half of your main cast and replace it in the course of a single season, I mean, people were upset enough just because Crusher got replaced. So imagine getting rid of Crusher and Data and Geordi. Like, people went up in arms. So it's hard to make this transition. But I am looking forward to season 2. I think my main gripe was, or not main gripe, my biggest forehead slap moment was the spontaneous evolution moment. And I think you could have had all the same elements, but just changed that one plot point to say it is humans' genes reasserting themselves. So even though they were genetically made to be like this, their human genes are reasserting themselves. So you had some recessive genes that are now becoming dominant genes, especially when the two of them were able to reproduce. So when, maybe a fluke happened, they were able to reproduce, and their genes, like, just because they're genetically modified doesn't mean they don't have all those other recessive genes just sitting in the gene pool. And so their children are going to be more human. And then you still could have had, well, now the baby would die if you got rid of the last air reclaimer place. And you still could have had this, now we're starting to reintegrate, the Daggers with humanity. But it wouldn't have been just the forehead facepalm slapping idea that your body is guiding yourself toward this better thing. Like, that's not how evolution works. But I don't even accept the theory of evolution, and I know that that's not how evolution works.
We all know that evolution works by turning people into salamanders.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're all headed. Voyager taught us that. So, I mean, how can you go against the science, the settled science of salamanders? Well, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this week's rundown of SeaQuest Season 2, Episode 1, Daggers Part 2. And next week, we will be taking a break because it's my wife's birthday, so I'm not going to be streaming. But this Thursday, so in 2 days, I will be over on the Anti-Truckers channel, where we're going to be watching a King Kong movie, I do believe, unless he has another trick in store for me. And then next week, even though I'm not going to be doing on Tuesday, on Wednesday, we're going to be doing a watch party with Wesley Crusher. Not the Star Trek Wesley Crusher, the Wesley Crusher from our community. It is his 36th birthday, and we're going to watch the first 3 episodes of Trigun, so look forward to that. And Sci-Fi Nation, absolutely, because you asked for it, I will 100% do my outro. Everyone, thanks for joining us, and until the next time, may the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Good night.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. And be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.